Thank you, Mercy, for the hype and all. Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much, Africa Agility, for this opportunity. And then quickly, I have about 20 minutes, and I would just like to share how I was able to move from a newbie in the data space to a team lead at the first organization I worked with after Africa Agility's Girls in Tech Bootcamp. All right, so this is me, and this is sometime in 2023 at organization's end of the year party where they had an award session, and I was nominated for Administrative Staff of the Year, Special Recognition Award for Diligence. Yeah, so I decided to title my talk Newbie to Team Lead, how I moved from being an intern to team lead within the space of 3 years at Price Valley. So here is a screenshot from my LinkedIn profile. So as soon as I finished from Africa Agility's Tech Bootcamp, about 3 months later, I started working at Price Valley, and I started as an intern. So after like 4 months, I moved to a full-time staff data analyst, and about after 2 years, I moved to being a data team lead. Right. So I'd like to start by saying that every leader you see right now, every leader that you're aspiring to be like, every leader that you see there that motivates you and all, they were once a beginner. They once started exactly where you are right now. And yeah, so if just try and picture that even me, Jumoke, started exactly where you are right now. And beyond me, all those big people you see, all those all those leading voice in tech that you see on LinkedIn or wherever, they were once exactly where you are right now. The only difference is that they didn't stay here. They did some things that made them, stand out, that made them progress, that made them change levels, and that has now brought them to where they are right now. So, so this was me at Africa Agility's Guest in Tech Bootcamp, the grand finale, where we often have hackathon, right? So that I can relate, relate very well. So, yeah, so after Africa Agility's Guest in Tech Bootcamp, where I learned data analytics and data science and machine learning, right? And that was even like my first exposure to data science and machine learning with Python programming, apart from maybe like 1 or 2 free courses I took on Coursera. Right, so I stayed back for 3 months. For 3 months, I was just updating what I've learned, building up on the foundational skills I've acquired at Africa Agility. So the thing about this tech space is that there's no end to learning. You have to be constantly learning, because by the time you are done learning one tool, there's an update already. There's a new one already that people are talking about. I mean, there was one time we were talking of data. Now we're running about AI, and even AI. There are new AI tools and the likes. So you need to like keep updating yourself. So I stayed back. I started looking for internship roles, and while I was looking for internship roles, I took more courses from a lot of free edtech platforms, Coursera, Data Quest. Data people will be able to relate. Data Camp, anywhere there are free courses, you will find me there. And by the time I felt like okay, I was a bit. I felt ready. Another thing is, you might never feel ready, right? See, there's no amount of online course that you will take that will prepare you for the actual job. Right? You learn more on the job. So never feel like, I still need 6 months to learn. I still need 6 months to learn. No. Start applying for internship roles, start applying for entry-level roles, and then you learn more on the job, right? So I took those courses, and at some point I started, when I couldn't secure a job, I started, asking for to intern with organizations for free. I did that for like 1 or 2 months before I got my first role with Price Valley as an intern. Now, getting my first role as an intern, the first thing I experienced was I felt inferior. Like, I really, really battled with inferiority complex, and I'm saying that that's fine. Please let me check my time to be sure that I would like to say that that's fine, right? But you need to channel that energy, you need to channel that feeling, you need to channel that emotions to making yourself better, right? It's all right to start out feeling inferior, but you need to channel the feeling, the emotions, and everything to getting better, right? So I started out with mistakes. In fact, when I started out, my team lead then would always give me, I started with basic tasks in data analytics with data gathering, data cleaning, and all those minor tasks. And then the first few weeks, you just look at my tasks and be like, Jimmy, what did you do here now? And then he would correct me. And you say, okay, maybe I will do it by myself. And I say, no, please don't do it by yourself. All right. I'll just give me a few minutes for me to redo it and then submit. So by the time I redo it and submit to him, I'll try as much as possible to make sure that I didn't make the same mistakes, and I was able to take one or two from the corrections and then make it better. So that's one thing you should never do, right? Never give excuses, never take the easy way out, and do not turn down task, either hard task or whatever. Do not turn down task. I wrote it here that you shouldn't. So if you're feeling inferior now, like, channel that energy, that feeling, that emotions to getting better, to taking more courses. Like, let it push you to want to get better. If you failed at a particular task, go to YouTube, go online and then see how to do that better. Or look at the person that has done it better, your team lead, for example. Look at how he's doing it. Ask him, oh, how do you do this? Sorry, I've been trying to get this done. How do you do this? And then it gets better, right? You might also feel undermined, right? Especially as a lady in tech. For example, where I work now, I've left this organization. Where I work now, when I joined, I was the only female AI engineer, and really it was a lot because I was working with guys, and I felt like, when will I be good as these people and all? But one thing I try to do is that every time they give me a task, I try as much as possible to deliver excellently, to do it very, very, very well, such that they will not look down on me and say, she's a girl, let's not give her that task, let's not shake any coins. It's a girl and all. So in your journey, please do not be a mediocre. Don't let them say, okay, she's a girl, and then they pass easy tasks to you, and then turn down the hard task and all. So moving on. So something happened along the line as I was getting better, was giving me task, I'll correct it. I started getting more comfortable with the task, and then got to a point that the HR offered me a particular task that was outside my job description, really, outside my team, outside my job description. And I would like to say that happens a lot in Nigeria. Like, what you ordered for might not be what you finally get, right? Do not be too quick, especially if you're a beginner. Do not be too quick to turn down tasks, right? You might get to a point where you are now, maybe you've spent 1 year or 2 years in the organization, and then you now have mouth and you can say, sorry, this is not in my district. Can you move it to someone else also? But in the beginning, don't turn down tasks, and that has really helped me. So it was that particular task that actually brought me to limelight in the organization, actually. So that task is something that even the CEO had tried, the HR had tried, and then they were not getting. It required somebody being diligent, somebody being prompt to do the task. And then, so I started taking that task, and I did that task for 4 months. And at the end of the 4 months, right, and was the end of the year, and then they were going to promote some people. And I was like, oh, Jumoke has been doing very good at this task. Imagine, they didn't even see that I've been doing data analytics and all. At that time, they had not seen what I've been doing in the data team really well, because I was still learning and all. But they had seen what I was doing in the other task, and then they recommended me. Based on that task, they recommended that I should be converted to a full staff. And then so I continued that task even as a full staff, and then so that task really helped me to now understand the business. It got to a point that I was now understanding the business even much more than my lead. And my lead, anytime he needs something, especially in that area, would come to me and say, Jimmy, how do you people do this? How do you people do this? How do you people do this? That task got to a point that when they have important meetings, right? And they need to know something about that particular area, that particular task. They reach out to me. I mean, they had me to meetings where maybe team leads meetings, and they say, oh, we need something in regards, as regards this particular area, and then they say, oh, add Jim into the call and all. So it was that task that now brought me out and all. So as I was doing well in that task, I was also doing well in my data analyst role, right? So I got better, right? I was learning more on the job, right? So it got to a point where anytime at first it was like my lead would give me a task, then I'll make mistakes, will correct me, then he will go and present it to the CEO or whatever. But it got to a point that it now became very comfortable with me saying, okay, you did it. You can present to him. And then trust me, the first few presentations were very, very bad. But with time I got better, and then it got to a point that, I mean, if the CEO will need something and then maybe he's unable to reach my team lead, you just reach out to me and say, oh, Jimmy, can you get this done? Can you get this done? So I just drop my lead a message that, oh, the CEO wants this, and I started working on it, and when I'm done, I'll share it with him. I say, okay, it's fine. You can share with him. And that was how I got better in the data analyst role generally. And then, so I said that I should not be a mediocre. Do not give excuses at all. At every point where you're given a task, it's just a point to prove yourself. It's just a point to shine and all. So don't give excuses, right? Don't be like nonchalant to your duties, to your roles. You know, the world you'll be fine, everybody could be all right, last, and no, it's a chance to prove yourself. Do not take the easy way out. As a lady, they might want to pass the simple tasks to you, right? You can tell them, oh, I would like to try this. Oh, how about this? How about this? When they're delegating tasks, don't let them say, oh, this one is a girl or something, and then they want to, rubbish you down and all. And I also said that you should not misuse your femininity, because don't be someone that at every point in time, maybe where you're supposed to have your menstrual flow, you want to take excuses and all. I understand that some people often have like a very bad menstrual cramps and all, but some people also use things like that, femininity is like that, as an excuse, right? Oga, no. Don't let them use that she's a lady thing to look down on you, and then when it's not time for a promotion, when it's not time for because really, you moving from one level to another in an organization actually depends on your team lead. It depends on the person you are reporting to. Is the person that is going to recommend to the organization that, oh, this person has actually been doing well and this person deserves to be promoted. So I said that instead of you doing all of this, that you should make sure that you deliver every task excellently, upskill regularly and build in public. Upskill regularly and build in public. Let your CEO see that, oh, you're upskilling, right? Let your CEO see that you're upskilling, and maybe you're already passing the level of the organization and all. I'll say that be punctual and be diligent in all things, right? So coming back to my story, so I started getting better with my task, and then it got to a point where my team lead was going to leave. As at that time, we're now up to like maybe 6 or 7 in the organization, and I was the next after him, right? And it was like, oh, Jimmy, he wants to leave, and then he has recommended me as the next team leader. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Number one, I compared myself with himself, because on the basis of our skill sets. And this is someone that studied computer science. This is someone that has been in the data field for like maybe 6-7 years. And the skill gap was wide. I was like, I've seen him do some crazy stuff in data that I cannot do. So I told him that, I'm sorry, I can't fit into your shoes. Can you recommend the next person? The next person is a guy. And it was like, oh, that was even the person the CEO wanted to place as a team lead, but he had to convince the CEO that I understand the business more than this other person. And how come I understood the business more at that point? It was because of the other task I was doing. It had opened my mind to a lot of things, right, in the business, that made me really understand the business more. And we dragged it for several days. I mean, inferiority complex to me. I withdrew for several days. I looked at meeting investors. I looked at meeting stakeholders, presenting to them, showing them data, reports, and all. I was like, no, I cannot do this. But then he kept pushing, kept pushing. I said, you're going to do this, you won't die there, and all. And then, okay, so at some point, since I didn't have another option, I had to give in. So I stepped in. And I would like to say that everyone has unique things about them. The unique thing about him might have been his skills, his expertise, and all. But a few months after I stepped into that role, I got a review. I got a positive feedback, and they were like, that even when the other person was a team lead, like they don't get tasks delivered as fast as I've been doing that. It's like the team has been more effective and at delivering, like being prompt and delivering. Like they ask me for a task like today, I'll give them, okay, 2 days, and so that in that between that 2 days they get the reports, or they get the result and all. That was my own strength. That was my own like winning point and all. And I never like see it in that light until it happened, right? So everyone has their own unique attributes and all. And if you look deep within yourself, you will notice that there are some unique things about you too, right? And then you do not really have to compare yourself. You just don't turn down tasks, don't turn down positions and all. Just take it, give in your best. Last, the worst that can happen is maybe after a few months, they review your performance and say you haven't done well, and then they remove you from that position. But don't be too shy to not say, okay, no, I don't want that. I hope I have not passed my time. And so that's my story. That was how I moved from being an intern at Price Valley to a full staff and to a team lead within the space of 3 years. And after 3 years, I joined another organization. I now work as an AI engineer, the only female in the team. And did I still feel inferior? Yes, I still felt inferior when I joined, but I'm getting better at the task. Sorry, at the role. I'm getting better. I'm updating myself and all. So, but outside the job, when it comes to leading in the data space, being a leading voice generally, right? It was something I started doing like out of, okay, I want more people to come into this thing and then to enjoy what I've enjoyed. I started by maybe WhatsApp communities, people reaching out to me and saying, Jimmy, I want to learn data. Jimmy, I want to learn data. Yeah, that's my time. Jimmy, I want to learn data. Jimmy, I want to learn data. And I'm like, okay. Jimmy, I want to learn data. Jimmy, I want to learn data. And I'm okay. I'll add it to my WhatsApp group. And then later on, I moved to LinkedIn and all. And then people started seeing and recognizing, and that was it. I hope that you have learned one or two things from my personal story, and I hope it motivates someone to not be too scared about this whole data, not just data. Sorry that I was using data all through. I'm a data analyst, but this old tech thing, in case you've been wondering, how will I survive in this male dominated field and this highly technical field? I hope my story inspires and motivates someone. Thank you so much, Mercy. Thank you, Africa Agility, once again.